I'm so happy when that happened to you. You were in Korea. And then I was like, I was really crying. And she was like, I'm really glad you were there. I got emotional. 찡하! 저는 브라질에서 온 다니엘라입니다. 반갑습니다. My family is like very jokeable. Like we joke a lot. We are very friendly to each other. I think I was very nerdy. Like yeah, 공부. Really 열심히. Before no makeup, just study. They were very sad at first, but they always knew I wanted to live abroad because I would watch like K-dramas or American dramas and I was like, Mom, I want to go there. I think at first they were sad, but they always knew I would live abroad at some point. They still miss me a lot because I don't see my parents for 2 years and a half, so I miss them a lot. They were a little bit worried at first about me living alone, but then all buildings have passwords on the outside and then inside is not a key that somebody can steal, so they are pretty okay with it, I guess. Yeah, they worry a lot about that. I recently had a health problem. They were really worried, but the thing is I didn't tell them until I got better. So after I got better, I even had a small surgery and then I got better and then I told them and they were like, you didn't tell us? After I did my surgery and I finally called my parents, I kind of just came out of a surgery, so you know, do not worry, I'm fine. I was in the call, actually video call, and she was like, I think I felt like she was gonna have a stroke and I was like, I'm fine. But then I told her that the doctor was so kind to me and they were working really hard to make me calm. The whole team was extremely professional. So she was feeling okay. No, I don't think so. It took me 1 week in Korea. In Brazil, I would probably not have done it in a private institution because it would be like over thousands. So I would probably have waited to do it for free and then that would probably have taken like about 2 months minimum. While in Korea, the whole surgery and the medicines and things were like about 30-40만 원? Not that expensive. My friend who's from America, she had a similar problem and she did it in America. It was over $2,000, $3,000. She feels a bit safer. If anything, like it did happen to me already, I will get the right treatment. And she called me one day crying actually after my surgery and she was like, I'm so happy when that happened to you. You were in Korea because if you were in Brazil, maybe we wouldn't have the money to help you. And then I was like, I was really crying and she was like, I'm really glad you were there. I got emotional. I did, but many years ago. These days, like the past few years, I didn't visit. A few years ago, it used to be a little bit easier, a little bit faster, but as population increases, it's getting more and more difficult. And I do not go to private hospitals often in Brazil. It's very expensive. No, not like Koreans. We don't go to hospital when we catch a cold. I've never seen that in Brazil before. We only go if you're already dying. It's not common for us to visit because it's so expensive. It takes a long time. The line is insanely long. So it's not like in Korea that you go, you wait 10 minutes, you get your medicine for like 5,000원. In my experience, people working at the hospital, usually doctors, speak good English. They were very kind. One time I went to the hospital and I was not understanding what the doctor was saying. So all of the staffs came to the room to help. And I looked around and there were like 3 of the girls, 1 other man staff, and they were all trying to help me. They were extremely kind. I think Korea has a somewhat a standard price. Actually, at first when I got to a hospital, I went to women's hospital to do my surgery thing, and I was like, this is way too fancy. And then I do a bunch of tests. It was like under 3만 원 because I had health insurance. And I was like, how is that possible? It makes no sense. So the thing is, Brazil has a free health care system, but it takes a long time to get an appointment. Even my city, it's a small city, but my father, for example, recently had a stroke, and then we do have free healthcare system in Brazil, but then he was still not taking the medicines for it to get better, and that's very serious because you should treat right away so you don't have like prolonged symptoms. So we went to do the exams and everything, and they scheduled his appointment for 3 months later. it would be free, but 3 months later he would be dead, so what's the point? So we had to pay for it in a private hospital because we don't have health insurance in Brazil, my family, and then it was very expensive. My mom used to be a nurse, not anymore, but she used to be a nurse and she had a couple of jobs. Her last job was working at a nursing home for old people. Yeah, in Brazil, they work really hard. They work a lot. Many hours of work, and the money isn't too good from what I've heard. I have a few friends who are nurses in Brazil too, not only my mom. She was shocked about many things. First was that the nurses could speak somewhat English because they don't have to, but they just do and they try their best. Like they could say, can you just go to another hospital? I think they were trying really hard, even though they didn't have to. For me, they would take papago and then search and then look at me and then search and then look at me and like try. I even sent pictures for my mom of the clinic and she was like, that's fancy. Do you have the money for that? In Brazil, you can have exams faster. Just if it is like too complicated that you need special equipment like a stroke, then it would take longer. Like a surgery would take much longer. Fast exams, you can do it in Brazil also a bit faster. But in Korea, it's just different because I was like in the call waiting for my appointment and I just gave my ID and I was like, 네, 알겠습니다. And 앉아주세요. 네. 5 minutes later, 다니엘라님. My mom was like, 벌써? 아니, we didn't even talk yet. I was like, yeah, this is Korean. I have so many things I would do. I think I would take my mom to a like spa and then right away to like, there's some things she want to fix on like her skin and stuff. So I probably take her to a 피부과. She wants to do some, like, you know. 오늘은 제 어머니가 한국 병원에 대해 알고 놀란 이유 말했습니다. 영상이 좋았다면 좋아요, 구독 해주세요. 바이바이.